Welcome back to CryptosRus. I am George, or all George. So what happened exactly yesterday? Markets seem to be shocked or spooked by Fed Chair Powell. So let's discuss what he said and what to expect for the remainder of this week and going forward. All right, let's do it. Welcome, guys. The market bell. There you go. It's looking bad today. It was bad yesterday after he spoke. And today you could see, markets are in red. Deep red. No good. And Bitcoin also dropped slightly from yesterday's high. So what's up? Why is there so much fear once again? Well, I didn't watch this live yesterday because I was on the track with my car. But, I got the gist of it. Basically, we did not have another rate hike. That's good. There was a 99% chance we were not going to get one, and we didn't. So that's fine, right? But what did he say? Well, there's a couple things. Number one is he said he believes there's not going to be any more soft landing. I believe that's the first time he said that. Okay, and that's kind of scary because people are like, well, what do you mean there's not going to be a soft landing, right? That means we're going to have a hard landing. But what does that mean exactly? Well, he didn't really clarify that statement, but he did say that, the rates will stay high for a long time. But that's really not a surprise. People already predicted that we're not going to get a rate cut until mid of 2024. So when he means a long time, what does that mean? 6 months, 8 months? That's about right. That's about right. So why is the market spooked by that? It shouldn't be, right? But there is one other thing, and that is he believes that there may be another rate hike necessary, and his buddies at the Fed also believes that. So right now, it's kind of undecided for this next FOMC meeting whether or not there will be no more or another rate hike. 12 Fed officials thinks that there should be one more rate hike, and 7 says no. Okay, so right now, it does seem like we may get another one. Okay, and that may be the reason why Fed Chair Powell thinks we no longer will get a soft landing, because we're at a point where interest rates are so high, we're starting to see things that are negative, right? You're starting to hear about real estate getting real soft, delinquencies and foreclosures on the rise. Businesses obviously have been struggling a lot more because they can't borrow as much money, which means hiring have slowed down dramatically. Unemployment is starting to tick up a little bit, right? So he knows if we get another rate hike and elevated levels of the Fed fund rate, soft landing may not be possible. By the time he starts cutting, the U.S. economy could be really, really bad at that point, right? So I think that's why people are putting 2 and 2 together and thinking, well, this is not going to be good. This is not going to be good. That means the remainder of this year, early next year, could be quite bad, right? And if you're looking at Treasury yields, the 2-year Treasury yield is now at a 17-year high. When you have an inverted Treasury curve, meaning like the 2-year is way higher than, say, the 10-year, that's usually an indication of fear in the markets. And that's exactly how it is right now. The 2-year Treasury note is at a 5.19%, while the 10-year is at 4.43. Think about it, right? That shouldn't be. The longer-term yield should be higher. But the fact that a 2-year is above the 10-year, that's called an inverted yield curve. That means there's a lot of fear. People are putting money in their 2-year yield thinking that it's not going to be so rosy within the next, X amount of time, short term, right? So that's why things are kind of spooky right now, okay? Um and also the DXY is skyrocketing. This is from my own analysis Twitter page or X page. Got a really good TA analyst that's been doing this. But yeah, the DXY you can see above 105. That's no good either, right? So these are all catalysts for a bad market right now. With the dollar getting stronger and inverted yield curve, with the Fed saying there's no more soft landing. These are all horrible things that we don't want to hear about. Okay. But the good news is, is that I think nothing changes for Bitcoin because next year is still the quadfecta. Okay. And as scary as it seems right now, things could change really quickly next month. When we have the next FOMC meeting, well, actually it's not next month. It's in November. But it's about like a month and a half away, right? Things could still change very, very quickly. Powell has to say these things because he can't make it seem like his job is done, okay? He can't come out and say, well, I think, our job is done. Now let's just wait and see, and then we're going to start cutting rates. Like, he can't come out like that, okay? That would be equally, no, that would be worse than being hawkish. So he's saying a lot of scary things, right? And right now we're just kind of like, okay, we're anticipating the pain, right? But the pain might not ever come. The anticipation of pain is worse than the pain itself in most cases. So it could change very drastically just in a month and a half. Maybe next one, FOMC meeting, there's no more rate hike. Okay, we stay at our 5.5%. The U.S. economy, although weak, still is hanging in there. And then we move forward. That's it, right? And of course, this doesn't change for Bitcoin because we still have the quadfecta coming. But short term, we still have to worry about this. It seems like every time we have FOMC meeting, there's like some kind of shock or spookiness or whatever. It's really still the same if you think about it, right? But anyways, so basically that's what was said, right? That's how I interpreted it, and we may get one more, we may not. Still it's up in the air. But yesterday we did not have another rate hike, so it went like how it should have, basically. All right, what else is going on? I saw this. Turkey Central Bank hikes interest rate to 30%. Well, yeah, so, we're talking about in the U.S., talking about going from 5.5 to 5.75. Turkey is at 30%. And I'm laughing because that's not good at all, right? That means they're suffering from extreme hyperinflation. That's why they have the interest rate so high, because they really, 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 really want to stop that inflation, right? But you know what? Just imagine, replace this Turkey headline with the U.S. If the U.S. continues to print irresponsibly, like right now, $1 trillion per month, yes, $1 trillion a month, if we continue down this road forever, that is what Powell and his successors will be doing. All they could do is just keep raising rates and raising rates and raising rates until one day our Fed fund rate is at like 30% because our inflation is out of control, right? As silly as that sounds, that's already happening worldwide. There are countries that have interest rate this high because they suffer from major, major hyperinflation, right? Hopefully the U.S. never gets there, but we are certainly on a path because right now we're operating with no debt ceiling. No debt ceiling until 2025. We're accruing $1 trillion worth of debt every single month. Just do the math. That's a recipe for for losing. That's what that is. So just want to say that real quick. Anyways, moving to Bitcoin. Of course, even though today Bitcoin is down a little bit, you still have a lot of major whales, okay, that believe in Bitcoin and its future, like me. Okay, so yesterday, right before that FOMC meeting, you could see here, this whale, whoever he is, or she is, or it, you could see that downward red spike. That's a major withdrawal, okay? So that means someone decided to buy a whole bunch of Bitcoin right before the announcement, okay? Because maybe they were guessing, maybe they thought that Powell would have said something good or something. I don't know, right? But whatever the case, they decided to buy a whole bunch and take it away from the exchanges. About $100 million worth, okay? That's a lot. We're talking about big institutions buying right now, okay? It's not a retail investor withdrawing $100 million from the exchange, okay? So it's some big entity that is loading up. And you could clearly see, I'll remove the camera. You clearly see those red spikes. It's almost like it's a pattern, right? Like they're DCAing, and every single red spike that you're seeing is like $100 million worth. So there's someone that is definitely DCAing behind the scenes, accumulating a ton of Bitcoin, right? Who knows? Who knows who it is? But, and here, look at this. The number of exchange deposits also down. So if you're wondering, well, you know, the number of Bitcoin leaving exchanges, does that mean that they're just being sold? No, actually it doesn't, because the number of Bitcoin going to the exchanges to be sold is at a 3-year low. So right now, no one is actually depositing Bitcoin to be sold. What the big boys are doing is buying behind the scenes OTC, right? They are accumulating as much as possible because they know all the silliness, all the FUD, all the shock from Fed Chair Powell in these meetings are temporary. They're not going to last. They're not, right? So that's what they're doing. So in terms of Bitcoin's movement, so what can we expect? Okay, short term, there's this one analyst that went all the way back, looked at previous cycles, and noticed two Fibonacci levels that's kind of important, the 0.5 and the 0.618, right? Previous cycles, we use those marks as kind of like a midpoint, okay, before we go parabolically up, right? So that 0.618 point the last time around was about 13,000. The time before was about 800. So this time around, that would be about 48,000. So we're not quite there yet. And once we hit it, we may bounce off of it and come down a little bit. But then afterwards, shortly afterwards, after the halving event, that's when we start going upwards, especially with the quadfecta that I've been talking about next year, right? That's also like mid of next year. That's also when the Fed plans on cutting the Fed fund rate too. So it all aligns, but zooming out, this is what we have to expect, right? This is what we have. I mean, just look at it. The previous cycles versus where we are now. We are moving in the same direction, the same pattern. And where will Bitcoin end up by the end of this cycle? 150, 200, 250. This one is projecting even like 300,000. We don't know. With the amount of money that the institutions are putting into the space and are drawing in, especially when Bitcoin spot ETFs get approved, we just don't know. There could be FOMO like unlike anything we have ever seen in any cycle. FOMO is a real thing. Institutions get FOMO too. It's not just retail investors. When everyone sees Bitcoin start going up parabolically, it's amazing It's an amazing thing. And I've been through a couple cycles. This will be my third one. And we will see the same thing like previous cycles. It's going to be insane. All right, what else? The Bitcoin hash rate continues to go up. The network continues to become stronger, part of the growing fundamentals. So I've always said that, and it has not changed. You even have like Himalayan Kingdom, Bhutan. Okay, look at that. They're in the middle of a mountain, and they're trying to develop a 600 megawatt Bitcoin mining farm. I mean, everyone is trying to get involved with Bitcoin. That's why the hash rate continues to go up, why the network continues to get stronger and stronger, becoming more decentralized and more secure, right? That's why the hash rate continues to go up, a new all-time high. Very good. Very good indeed. All right, last few things. Last night, I did notice Immutable X just shoot up like 30% for no reason. It turns out that they were added on some Korean exchange. That's the reason why. I even tweeted that out. I'm like, why all of a sudden? But I like Immutable X. I like what they're doing, so that's good. Also, Alchemy Pay has just received a money transmitter license in the U.S., so that's good. They're a fiat on-ramp, off-ramp crypto project, so they joined the ranks of Coinbase and Block. It's actually pretty hard to get in the U.S., okay? But you know who else got a money transmitter license? X did, and they just kind of hinted that it's coming. They have this promotional video, and they show here that one person is sending another person cash. Okay, so is that really cash, or is it some kind of crypto payment service, or both? We don't know, but we know X is coming out with it, so it could be big. It could be big if they integrate crypto into their payment system or come out with a digital wallet at the same time. It could be absolutely huge, especially if they integrate Doge, right? That's what everyone's waiting for. Is Doge going to come to, you know, with Elon's history, everyone's waiting for. That's the only thing, honestly, that anyone could look forward to with Doge, because they have no roadmap, they have no plans. The only thing to look forward to is if it's going to be integrated into X. That's pretty much it. All right, and also, just to give you guys a big reminder, today is the launch of CryptosRus Plus. The very first video from Joshua Jake will be put up. You guys will enjoy it. It's a really good video. I already watched it. But make sure you subscribe to CryptosRus Plus if you haven't already. The link is in the description. So right now we have 3 hosts, 3 videos per week. It's going to be good. All right. That is pretty much it. Bitcoin still a little weak from yesterday. The U.S. market is, yeah, looking pretty red. Pretty red. All right, let's do some Q&A. All right, welcome everyone. Let's see. Hello from South Africa. Welcome. Very far away. Let's see. When has there ever been a soft landing? Well, Powell is still hoping that we could get a soft landing. But yesterday seemed like it was the first time he kind of, I don't know, he finally admitted that he does not believe there will be a soft landing, which is not good. That's not what we want to hear. The markets don't want to hear that. Timothy, you know, you'll see plenty of pictures and videos of my car. Once I get done with that video, I started uploading everything, but it's going to take a while to edit. I'll put out my drivers only channel because it makes sense there. Brian says the McLaren in front of you was nice. It was a Ferrari event, but they had two McLarens there. They're 720Ss. Yeah. They're pretty nice, but I'm surprised they didn't break down on a track because they're so unreliable. But yeah, they're nice cars. There was a lot of nice cars yesterday. All right, let's see here. The Feezy777 says FOMO will be the highest in Bitcoin history. We've never seen anything like this. I agree. I agree. We just need to get past the Fed FUD. After that, it's going to be good. Rich, I'm excited for 2024. This year has gone back. This year has gone by way too fast, if you ask me. We're about to enter October. This year flew by fast. Very, very fast. You know, time flies. Time really does fly. I still remember like 2023 just rolling around, and now we're about to head into 2024. Ming in the chat, he was with me part of the drive, and yeah, as a driver, as a passenger, it probably sucks because you're thrown around. But yeah, it was fun. We were supposed to be going slow because it was kind of like you know, like we were doing touring laps, and it was supposed to be like a slow thing because no one there is like a professional driver, and you know, it was supposed to be like just, you know, cruising around, but no one was cruising around. It was a small track, but you know, by the end I was like hitting those apexes and doing turns at like 60 miles per hour, and some of these short straightaways I got up over 100. At one point I got like 105. And luckily, I have some good brakes because you have to, like, the straightaway is so short and you're following behind someone, and then you gotta, like, slam on the brake because there's just not that much runway. Will recession set off CBDCs, and will Bitcoin hit 100K? No, I think CBDCs and recession have nothing to do with each other. But will Bitcoin hit 100K? Yes, eventually. 720S are supposed to be the most reliable McLarens. I don't know. Every video I've watched from 720S owners will say that, I don't know about like if the computers go break down, because I've seen a lot of McLarens where the computers just like starts going haywire and saying like problems or whatever. But like 720S's, there's a lot of like pieces that are like loose and stuff like that. Like quality control seems to be an issue. And the problem with McLarens is they all look the same. Like it doesn't matter if you have a 720S or 765 LT or whatever, the 500 ones. I mean, they all look exactly the same, so you can't tell them apart. Yeah, today it's getting more and more bloody right now. Coinbase is down 4% almost. I don't know why CNBC always takes so long to refresh. Yeah, down 4%. Mara is probably down even more. Mara is down almost 5% today. And then, what's Tesla at? Tesla's down 3% today. That's no good either. Yeah, today's not a good day. Powell spooked the markets. Here's something else, though. And I remember this from previous FOMC meetings. The day afterwards, you tend to get a dump. And then the Friday afterwards, you get a rally. I think it happened last time and the time before and the time before that. So as scary as it seems like it is right now, it actually may just rally up tomorrow. Am I going to a Ripple party 9/29? No, because I'll be at Cypherpunk. So Cypherpunk is end of this month, and I never get invited to Ripple parties anyways. Yeah, Mike agrees with me. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, we've gone through so many of these FOMC meetings. The last few has been the same. You get a red day right afterwards, okay? And then you get rally, and then sometimes you just keep rallying. So tomorrow, I would not be surprised. I mean, we end today red. Tomorrow, we get a big rally, and then next week, we get a rally too. Like, that would not be a surprise. Maybe if I showed my XRP educational video, I would get invited someday. Or maybe the more I show it, the less chance I'll get an invite. I don't know. We got over 3,000 people tuning in right now. Awesome. Awesome. Make sure you guys smash it a like. You know, today's a scary day. Okay, you can't get away from that. But know that Bitcoin is the way. We will get a much, much better year next year. In fact, this year isn't bad either. We're still up like 80% this year. And the Bitcoin annualized returns is 144% a year. So if you think about those things, you're fine, right? But next year is going to be way better. FOMO is going to be a real thing. And you know, all the fear about rate hikes and stuff goes away, because next year, that's when we look forward to cuts, right? Finally, we'll be able to tune in to FOMC meetings waiting for Powell to say we're cutting rather than hiking, right? It's going to be a very different dynamic next year. Am I getting a Bored Ape? No, I should though. The floor price on Bored Apes are now like less than 30 ETH. They're like 28, 25 ETH or something like that. It's actually a pretty good time to be buying one. Peeping Turtle, you're welcome. Dude, a lot of you guys are you're caught up in this Ben/Discover Crypto drama. I'm staying far, far away. Like I said, I want no piece of that. It's an ugly situation. They're still duking it out, trying to figure things out, right? Yeah, so I'm just going to stay away from that situation. I hear it from both sides. I have a lot of inside information as well. But again, I'm staying away from that. But as for Ben himself, I've always said this. I wish him the best. No ill will towards Ben. But what's going on here is not something that we've ever seen before. Yeah. So that's all I'll say about that. One of the things I learned about getting a car and registering it is, yeah, if you register, let's say, a Lambo under the business and the business gets sued or taken away, then the car goes with it, right? So actually, that's something that my accountant taught me, is that, yeah, you just have to watch out for that. You have to watch out for many things once you start a business, including having partners, right? The best thing is to start a business and have 100% ownership and have no partners. If you can get by with that, that's the best way to go. Once you bring in partners, no matter what their equity stake is, it causes complications, right? That's why they say never go into business with your friends or family, especially family, because money tears people apart. So that's something a lot of people have told me. I'm glad I stuck with that. How hard were you accumulating in 2017? Um, as much as I could. I mean, I told you guys a story. In 2017, I was pretty dead broke, okay? Because I lost all my money in 2008, 2009, when the housing market crashed. I had, I don't know, I was playing around maybe like with 20 or 30,000 at that time. I even like racked up credit card bills because, stocks were going up like crazy, and everyone was FOMOing in, and I did too. I lost all my money in 2008 when the market came down. And I did not have any more savings. It took me a while, and then I started flipping cars, actually. I started flipping cars around like the 2015, 2016 time period. And then, I forgot how much I made, like about 10, 15,000. And then when 2017 rolled around, I'm like, all right, I need to get back into Bitcoin. So I think I only bought like $5,000 worth at that time. But, Bitcoin was only 1,000 at that time. So I picked up at least 5. And then as I built up the channel, as I started making money, then I put more into it. But most of my DCA is like after 2017, because leading up to 2017, I had no money. I was very broke back then. The last recession destroyed me. Funny thing is, both recessions, I mean, the dot-com bubble in 2000 also destroyed me, and I was in college then, and then 2008 really destroyed me. But I've learned from those experiences. Like there's always up and downs, right? There's always up and downs, but you can't give up. And holding is so important, and also making sure you have cash on the side. That's the ultimate thing. If you have cash on the side, you're not afraid of recessions. You're not afraid of dips, because those are the times when you're supposed to be loading up, right? But most people, that's the thing. They are already all in. They have no more money. They can't pick up. That's something that I've learned over all these recessions. It's very important. Very important. All right, guys. Let's conclude. Overall today, not off to a good start. Okay. Fed Chair Powell said he does not believe there will be a soft landing. So today is not a good day, but tomorrow is another day, and tomorrow we can see a rally because the last few FOMC meetings have been like this. But nevertheless, right, the U.S. is in trouble right now. We are printing $1 trillion basically per month, okay? That is a recipe for disaster. So that's why we need to stick with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still strong as ever and will only get stronger as we move forward into 2024 and 2025. So stay strong, my friends. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Also subscribe to CryptosRus Plus. I don't know when the video will be released, but it will be before my night stream. So make sure you click that link and subscribe as well. All right, I'll see you guys tonight. Take care. Bye-bye.